How's it going, you guys? AZ Plow 21 back again with another fight card here in our UFC save in WMMA 5. And here today it is UFC Fight Night Carvalho versus Vieira. As always, I appreciate you guys for watching. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch so you can catch the live streams, and follow my Discord as well so you can get involved in some of the voice chats we have going on. I'm lucky today to be joined by Benny, RBM, and Tristan. Gentlemen, it should be a pretty... How's it going? It should be...
Hello.
Yes. Benny, you still there? All right. So, it should be a pretty good fight card. And hopefully, you guys are having a good one. Tyron Woodley, Yushin Okami, Carvalho, Aspen Ladd. Pretty sneaky good card in Southern Australia. We are making our way towards UFC 284. Ferguson versus Gillespie 2. 3 title fights on that card. Probably the most exciting one, honestly, being the main event, Ferguson and Gillespie for the lightweight championship, a rematch over about a couple of months ago. That one is live from California. Darren Till defending the middleweight title against Elias Theodorou, who in real life isn't even fighting anymore. He's not doing much of anything. I think he had a fight for TKO or something like that, and that was about 2 years ago. So I have no idea what he's doing, but fighting for the middleweight championship here in this save.
Should be a co-main event. We have, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. What were you saying?
And then in that co-main event with Amanda Nunes, we answered the question: how fast can Amanda Nunes body another woman?
Yeah.
I think the loser of Ferguson versus Gillespie should go down to super lightweight.
That could be something that happens. Maybe maybe the first title challenger or something like that, because we still have our super lightweight Grand Prix going on right now. But yeah, Felicia Spencer, I mean, technically she's a champion. She's the interim UFC women's featherweight champion after beating Megan Anderson for the third time, I'm sorry. So yeah, Amanda Nunes she got injured after she defended her bantamweight title, and now she's gonna try to reclaim the featherweight championship. The inner crazy in me kind of wants Felicia Spencer to win, just so we can set up a trilogy fight. But
I mean,
the odds of that are severely low.
Yeah, because the first fight, I watched the first fight, not live, but I watched it. It was total domination. I had a 10-7 in the 5th round.
All right, so we're gonna make our way towards. What were you saying?
10-7. That seems like did she die and have to be revived in the 5th round?
I mean, probably if she was fighting Amanda Nunes. Megan Anderson, luckily, did not have to suffer that fate. She just kind of. Megan Anderson made some pretty quick money too, but just not in the way she would have liked. Our first prelim, Gordon Ryan taking on Teemo fight. Sure, 9-3, a huge underdog to Gordon Ryan, who is perhaps one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world right now. 3-0, 1-0 in the UFC after beating Gordon Berkman. Very hard to tell because he has such little experience, but if he gets it on the ground, it's going to end early. RBM, what are you thinking on this one?
I mean, I see that betting line. I see that betting line. And, I mean, he's called the king for a reason, so I'm going to have to go with Gordon.
All right. And Tristan, same question?
This is a very close fight, and Teemo could definitely get the win. But I'm going to go with Gordon Ryan as well.
He goes with Gordon Ryan as well, and it is Gordon Ryan via submission due to a leg lock after the second round. 2 takedowns out of 4 and got the submission to go. And see, this is what I was talking about. The entire fight, 3 punches landed, 4 ground strike. Like it doesn't seem like real statistics.
Wasn't Teemo on the Prospect Showdown as well?
He was. And he won over Ibo Aslan. So congrats to him.
Yeah.
And now 1-3 in the UFC. He might make his way down to WEC as a result. So Steve Mowry taking on Mohamed Usman, Kamaru's older brother. I think older brother, maybe younger brother, but he's definitely heavier. Steve Mowry, 6'8", 250. 7 inches taller than Mohamed Usman. Usman is a heavy underdog, 12-2. Steve Mowry is 11-1, making his UFC debut. I'll go with Tristan first. Who do you have?
I don't know. Mohamed Usman is in the UFC, right? He has fought in the UFC before.
He is not. He's in PFL right now.
Oh, but he's 2-0 in the UFC. Oh. I meant in the save, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, but he has fought. I'm gonna go with Mohamed Usman to take this one.
Alrighty, RBM.
So we just saw his fight history, and I saw that there was a lot of split decisions. I see that he's also a heavy underdog to a guy coming in who's 11-0. The guy he's fighting is younger, but this is going to answer the question: are UFC guys just superior to Bellator guys? I'm going to go with Steve, but I mean this might just show that Bellator is truly second rate.
Perhaps they're not. Unanimous decision victory for Steve Mowry in an impressive UFC debut. And he fights out of Sanford MMA, so you have to think he's getting a lot of help from guys like Gilbert Burns, a lot of good talent over at Sanford MMA, definitely making him better. And he gets a good win in his UFC debut. Shamil Musayev taking on Pecchel in the 155 division. Pecchel, a heavy underdog, 14-3. 7-3 in the UFC, though. Coming off a win over Alex De Silva. Musayev, 2-2 in the UFC, coming off a loss to Jason High, who we just had to talk out of retirement. RBM, your thoughts on this one?
See, the guy on the left in the blue, he's very young, while the other guy, he's probably in the twilight of his career. Yeah, I'd say Musayev is considering he's also the heavy favorite, I'm just going to have to give it to him.
Okay. Benny, you still here?
Yeah, man.
All right, Musayev or Pecchel here?
I'm going to have to go with that guy.
All right, going to go with
I feel like
Pecchel.
he's got the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. The experience is always very important. Tristan, your thoughts?
I see that Musayev is coming off a loss and Pecchel is coming off a win. It's a really close fight. I am just gonna, I don't know, this is very close. I'm gonna go with Vince Pecchel to win, just for the sake of it.
All right,
because he just won and Musayev just lost.
All right, big underdog Pecchel, but 2 out of 3 going for him, and Musayev knocks out Vinc Pecchel in 2.5 minutes. So increasing
easy money.
Easy money. So perhaps a performance bonus as well, increasing his UFC record to 3-2, and he's inviting everyone to go party with him. Who's going to go party with the Russian? The SoCal kid, Chris Saunders, taking on Ramzan Asenbayev in the 155 division. Chris Saunders, 36 years old, 0-1 in the UFC after having a good stint in LFA, but this is actually his first fight back in a while, since 2012, his first fight back in the UFC. He is the betting favorite against Ramzan Asenbayev, 13-3-1, 0-1 in the UFC, lost to Damir Ismagulov. RBM, your thoughts?
Well, with a name like the SoCal Kid, you're looking to get shot if you're looking to go to California. Just saying, you're our favorite for life. But I think I'm going to have to go with him. Seems like he has a good amount of experience. The age gap isn't too big either.
All right, so he's going with Saunders. Benny?
Chris is on a much better win streak, but the other guy is Russian. But I'm going to have to go with Chris because I just think he's better.
I like that. You have to consider his nationality, so he's Russian, and he's in Sambo, but he also doesn't have a fight team, so not sure how much that really factors into it, but I mean, the fact that he doesn't have anyone sticking by him, I'm sure he has a cornerman, but no fight team. Tristan, your thoughts?
I had to put a lot of thought into this one, but I feel like Saunders is gonna be rusty, and despite Asenbayev he's 0-1. I feel like he's gonna be a bit rusty because his last fight was 2012, I feel like he's gonna be rusty.
He's
He's 36.
his last fight in the UFC was in 2012.
Yeah, and also he's 36. So I really think that age is gonna start to come through. Asenbayev is 33. I'm gonna go with Asenbayev to win this one.
All right. He has his reasons, but Chris Saunders gets a majority decision. So someone ranked it as a draw. 29-28, 29-29, 29-28.
Since when
I think
do you
this would
see
be
a
a good.
29-29?
What were you
I
saying?
think this would be a good time to. We're talking to me or.
RBM, yeah.
I think this would be a good time to look at the fight statistics.
Yeah, fight metrics. Takedown. So Asenbayev got 4 takedowns. Saunders, 26 jab punches. 4 ground strikes. So Saunders kind of just peppered him on the feet. Asenbayev got 4 takedowns, and he still did not win. Round
36
1.
ground strikes also.
So that seems 2 takedowns. That seems like it would be for Asenbayev. A takedown, but more punches for Saunders. And then a takedown and minimal punches. That's maybe Asenbayev should have won that one. I'm not sure. Joe Lauzon.
Joe Lauzon. J-Lau.
Joe Lauzon taking on Benson Smooth Henderson. I took a kickboxing.
Wow.
I took a kickboxing class with Benson Henderson at the MMA lab. He's a pretty cool guy, but he has been, not having as good of a time in his career recently. Joe Lauzon, he's like a UFC original almost, but he's having a good time. Ranked 24th in the division, 2 straight losses, Hernandez and Rebecca, but before that was on a 4-fight winning streak.
Of
And
course,
then-
the older brother of Dan Lauzon, I think.
Yeah, remember watching them fight on camera in their own backyard or something like that. Benson Henderson lost to Chandler in Bellator before he came to the UFC, where he immediately got a victory over Alexander Volkanovski, and then lost 2 straight to Evan Dunham and Joseph Duffy. So he's been facing a lot of veterans here in the UFC. Joe Lauzon, the odds-on favorite. Benny, who's your pick for this one?
I'm gonna have to go with Benson because he's been facing harder and tougher competition. He also weighs more because he missed weight, so that's a big advantage for him.
Okay, RBM.
Well, this is a tough one because I respect Benson Henderson's ability. He hasn't had the greatest time. Neither has J-Lau, but I'm gonna have to go with J-Lau just because that's kind of my bias because J-Lau.
All right, so he's going with Lauzon. Tristan, Lauzon or Henderson?
I this took a little thought, but I looked at their records, because you took a look through the records. And I'm gonna go with J-Lau because he was on a 4-fight winning streak before the 2-fight losing streak. Henderson was on a 1-fight winning streak before the 2-fight losing streak. So while they're both on 2-fight losing streaks, you have to look at the streaks before that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're going with Lauzon.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And Benson Smooth Henderson chokes out Joe Lauzon in round number 3 with only 31 seconds left to go.
That hurts. That hurts.
Pulled it.
And it doesn't seem like it was particularly close either. It wasn't like a last-second thing. It looks like Henderson was kind of in control of the fight.
Maybe J-Lau down to WEC. Maybe.
No, I like Lauzon staying up as kind of just like
I that's why I said maybe, I mean, I'm pretty sure because he was on a 4-fight winning streak before that.
All right. Yoni Salavara taking on Super Sodiq Yusuff. This guy's been having a little trouble. 3 out of his last 4 fights have been losses, but it's a pretty tough competition. Bektic, Ricardo Lamas, and Ricardo Ramos, and then beat Chaz Skelly. Yoni Salavara, this is his UFC debut coming out of, was that Cage Warriors? CWFC, I'm not 100% sure. But this is his UFC debut. He's a huge betting underdog to Sodiq Yusuff.
That was Cage Warriors.
Okay.
CWFC.
And
It's Cage Warriors.
And so, Tristan, your thoughts?
I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna go with Sodiq Yusuff because he's the big favorite. And look at the records too.
Yeah. It's a good point. Benny?
Sadiq, because the other guy, he seems like a good regional fighter, but not like top 25 UFC caliber.
Fair point. And RBM, your thoughts?
This is a tough one because Sadiq is kind of on a skid. I do have to agree with the previous voices. I'm gonna have to give it to Sadiq, but it is what it is either way.
All right, Sodiq Yusuff needing a big win, and he gets it. A TKO victory in round number 3. And back in the win column in a desperate way. Salavara, you mentioned kind of a good regional fighter. A loss like this and like his record not particularly exciting. Do we give another shot in the UFC, or is it kind of down to WEC already?
I say WEC. He's 34. He's not getting any better.
Okay. Moving on in the featherweight division, Kazumasa Majima taking on Lance Palmer. Now, Lance Palmer, this guy's already won $2 million in PFL. He's won it twice. So it's not like he's strapped for cash or anything like that, but he's come here to the UFC and done rather poorly. 1-3, 3 straight losses. Darren Elkins, Luis Gomez, and Arnold Allen. Before that, beat Bryce Mitchell, gave him his first loss, and everyone was kind of excited about that. Majima, 2-2 in the UFC. Two straight losses over Julio Cesar Neves and Luis Pena. RBM, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on this featherweight contest?
I'm giving it to Palmer. I think he takes better care of his body, and I think that's going to play a huge factor in the later rounds, if it even makes it to the later rounds.
Okay. Benny, your thoughts?
I feel like Palmer's biggest disadvantage is that he's been 5'6" in the featherweight class, also wrestling counters Shuto normally. So I'm going to say Lance just smothers him for 3 rounds.
All right, and Tristan?
Well, while Majima has the better UFC record, you have to look at the quality of the opponents, right? Majima has lost to lesser guys like Luis Pena. Well, Palmer, he beat Bryce Mitchell, and then I saw he lost to Darren Elkins, Arnold Allen. I know both of those names. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Lance Palmer to win, probably by decision, because he did beat Bryce Mitchell. That's a good win.
All right. And it is going to be Lance Palmer by decision over Majima. Probably, I'd imagine, took him down a couple times. Took him down 3 times, 30 jab punches, and then 34 ground strikes. So
it doesn't just matter about the difference of the record. It also matters the quality of the opponents that you're facing.
Yeah, for sure, of course. As we move on, Mateus Vasco taking on Patrick Patchy Mix in the bantamweight division. Mix is a pretty good prospect in real life for Bellator, but he lost twice in Bellator, and this is his first fight here in the UFC. And he takes on Mateus Pitbull Vasco, 1-1 in the UFC. Beat Dvalishvili because he's not very highly ranked in this game, and then lost to JP Buys. RBM, your thoughts on these two guys, both coming from Bellator, I think? No, just Mix.
I'm gonna give Pitbull the chance.
All right, he's gonna say Pitbull. Benny?
Patrick's got the momentum. His most recent loss was to James Gallagher, who's actually really good. So I reckon that Patrick's gonna beat him.
And he's training with John Jones, too, at Jackson Winklejohn, too. Have to keep that in mind also. Tristan?
Well, I honestly don't know who's going to win this one. It's very close. Vasco has a very good win over Dvalishvili, right? But he lost to JP Buys, who lost recently to Bruno Silva. So he beat a really good opponent, but he lost to a pretty bad opponent. So it kind of evens it out. I'm just gonna barely go with Patchy Mix, but I changed my mind 7 times. It's a very close fight.
Alrighty, he's gonna go with Patchy Mix, and Patrick Mix wins via unanimous decision. His UFC debut is a successful one, and he's calling out Gerardo de Freitas. Not exactly a well-known name, but I mean, you need a next fight nonetheless. Up next, Janelle Lausa taking on, oh boy, and Kazimulo Zulu in the flyweight division. The South African Zulu is 1-1-1 in the UFC, coming off a loss to Jamie Alvarez. Before that, a no contest to Tyson Nam because of a drug test failure on the other side. And Janelle Lausa, 10-5, 4-3 in the UFC, coming off a loss to the Japanese sensation Tenshin Nasukawa. RBM, your thoughts on this close betting line fight?
Well, first of all, The Demolition Man, starring Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes, in theaters 20 years ago, or 25 years ago. I'm going to give it to Zulu Boy.
Zulu Boy, okay. Benny, your thoughts?
I feel like it's going to be the blue guy because, well, the other one's a drug cheat. And also, Janelle's loss, well, only recent loss was to Tenshin, who is very, very good. So you can't really hold that against him.
All right, and Tristan?
It depends. It kind of depends on one thing. Go to Zulu Boy, who originally won the fight with Tyson Nam before the failure.
It was Tyson Nam. It wouldn't have gone the other way.
Oh. Yeah, David Dvorak is pretty good. Not good enough, in my opinion. I think I'm going to go with... I don't know. It's pretty close for me. I am going to go with Janelle Lausa, but I feel like Zulu Boy could win.
All right, boxing versus karate, so it's probably going to be a stand-up contest.
Lausa by decision. That's my pick.
All right, Lausa by decision, and it is Janelle Lausa by decision over Zulu Boy. Fight only a decent fight, so not necessarily the most exciting. 49 punches versus 16 punches, so not really a close one.
You know, I should have thought Sylvester Stallone's career comeback and Wesley Snipes being cast in a Dolomite. I should have thought that was a sign of things to come. I just didn't.
All right, and we just mentioned Nasukawa, and now it is Tenshin Nasukawa as he faces off with UFC veteran Damasio Page in the flyweight division. Page is 2-4 in the UFC. He came back from LFA after winning their championship, and he's 2-1 since his comeback. Win over Brandon Royval, a loss to Ronaldo Candido, and then beat Ryan Benoit. And Tenshin Nasukawa undefeated at 6-0, 1-0 in his UFC career over Janelle Lausa. RBM, your thoughts?
I really want Tenshin to win. He seems just like such a great prospect. It would be such a waste if he were to just lose on the prelims right here. So I'm rooting for him, and I hope he wins.
All right. Benny?
I think after being bullied by Floyd, Tenshin actually became a much better fighter. So I reckon he's going to stop him in the second round.
He's saying second round stoppage. And Tristan?
Ooh.
Well, this is a very close one. They both have very good wins over two high-quality fighters. Damasio Page beat Ryan Benoit, and I forget the other one. Ryan Benoit and...
Brandon Royval.
And Nakazawa beat Janelle Lausa and Zach Makovsky. So it's a close one for me. I think I'm going to go with Nakazawa to win because he finished them both in the first round. So I'm going to go with Nakazawa by a second round finish.
All right, they're both saying second round finish. And it is Damasio Page, a unanimous decision victory over the prospect Tenshin Nasukawa. So the hype train slowing down a little bit for Nasukawa. And,
quite literally the angel of death, killing his
momentum. Looks like the fight of the night, this one. Looks like the fight of the night.
In a fantastic fight. Ground strikes, couple takedowns for Damasio Page. He tried to get in a lot of submissions too, but ends up winning via decision. All right, so the first fight on the main card, it's Thiago Moises taking on Yancey Medeiros. Moises is 15-4, a heavy favorite over the veteran Yancey Medeiros. Number 14 in the division coming off, or he's actually making his comeback to the UFC after a stint away. And Thiago Moises, number 16 in the division, 3 straight wins, Bobby Green, Maxim Divnik, and Matgo Medsegid Ali Bekov. Tristan, we'll start with you.
Moises, I feel like Medeiros. Let's look at his record outside of the UFC. Let me see. It's two wins, I think. Two
Yeah.
wins.
1
and
loss.
3. Yeah, 2 wins and 1 loss. 2-1. His wins.
Well,
Jonathan
3-1.
Pierce.
3-1 because he had a win in
3-1.
CES also.
Pierce, Vic, and Perez. Ooh, those are some good wins. I think I'm gonna go with Moises.
Okay, going with the guy on a winning streak.
Submission in the second round.
Submission second round. Okay, Benny.
I'm gonna have to go with Thiago because he's on a better win streak and he's much younger. And Yancey, the only guy he's beat recently is James Vick, and everyone can beat James Vick. So
Yeah, everyone's been knocking out James Vick recently. RBM.
I think Moises is the clear winner, even though look at that height difference. That's quite a bit. I think he's still got it.
All right, everyone's going for Moises here, and it is Thiago Moises. Not the second round, but the first round submission victory over Yancey Medeiros. Fight rated as being great. You love to see it. And he wants to fight Nasrat Hakparas next. Okay. All right, moving on in the women's bantamweight division. Marina Moknatkina taking on Aspen Ladd. Moknatkina is 9-3, number 17 in the bantamweight division. She is a last-minute replacement for Aspen Ladd. She's also on a 3-fight winning streak, however. Wins over Carol Hossa, Sarah Morris, and Yana Kunitskaya.
Who did she replace? Moknatkina.
I honestly could not tell you, but I know she's a last-minute replacement. Because I probably would never do number 5 versus number 17. But anyways, Aspen Ladd coming off a loss to GDR, which sucked for her because if she had beaten GDR, she was getting a title shot. Before that, 3-fight winning streak over Claudia Ray, Lena Landsberg, and Caitlin Vieira. And before that, lost to Amanda Nunes for the title. So she's trying to make her climb back to a title shot, and she has a Russian and Moknatkina in front of her. Let's start with Benny. Who do you have?
I feel like Aspen's a slow starter because all her losses have come inside 3 minutes. But Aspen just looks like she's going to snitch on you and tell on you for something.
Yeah.
So I feel like she's going to bully Mariano, who's just inexperienced for the situation.
All right, he's taking Aspen Ladd, who's going to tell on you. RBM?
Well, considering that Aspen Ladd has only lost to 2 people, those being Amanda Nunes and GDR, some pretty solid people to lose to, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Look, and the age gap, the betting line gap, I'm going to have to go with Aspen.
All right, and Tristan?
Well, this is a very good last-minute replacement in Moknatkina, 9-3 versus 13-3. I feel like Aspen Ladd should be able to eke out his decision, but if Moknatkina won, that would have been a big win, and possibly after a couple more wins would probably propel Moknatkina into a title shot. But I'm going to go Aspen Ladd to win by decision.
All right, he's picking Aspen Ladd by decision, but would not be surprised if Moknatkina won. A big odds-on favorite in Aspen Ladd. It only takes 2 minutes before she knocks out Marina Moknatkina. We do not see knockouts in women's MMA that often, so good for her. Love to see it. I was there live when Irene Aldana knocked out Caitlin Vieira, and everyone was surprised because you never really see like actual knockouts in women's MMA. And not even like when Cyborg lost to Amanda Nunes, she didn't really get knocked out. It was like a TKO victory. She didn't go lights out, but Caitlin Vieira was lights out against Irene Aldana, so that was pretty crazy.
Cyborg didn't go lights out, yet the announcers were still saying she was out cold. Well, what's up with that?
Yeah, well, they have to say that just to hype everyone out, you know, but like there's a difference between getting knocked out and getting like lights out, like out cold. You know what I mean? But yeah. Everyone was kind of worried for Caitlin Vieira because Aldana put her lights out, like tucked her in, blanket over her, everything. So Stamp Fairtex in the strawweight division, a pretty good prospect, 24 years old, out of Thailand, 3-0 already in the UFC. Good wins over Jessica Delboni, Alicia Zapatella, and Brianna Van Buren. Takes on Kanako Murata, her biggest test yet out of Japan. 3-2 in the UFC. Her only 2 losses to Weili Zhang and Virna Jandiroba. And we'll start with Tristan. This women's battle, who do you guys have?
I believe that Fairtex, as I've said before in the past, is faced and beaten. I mean, I'm not saying Murata hasn't faced some good competition, but she's beaten good competition. Murata, her only wins, Herrig and Renata Souza. Herrig has just been getting fed to everybody. And Murata's losses are to Zhang, I think. Zhang and somebody else. Jandiroba. TKO. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Stamp Fairtex, not to finish Murata, but by decision. I'm gonna go with Fairtex by decision.
All right, Benny.
I'm gonna go Kanako because she just seems a lot more experienced, and Tenshin Nakatashi was 24 and 6-0 with a similar to Stamp, and he just lost. So I'm gonna call it a curse and say that Kanako wins.
All right, the prospect's probably not having a good night tonight. RBM, your thoughts?
I really want Stamp Fairtex to win, but I mean, I think the betting lines might be too much, but I'm rooting for her.
All right, so kind of in his heart wants Fairtex to win, and she's quite a prospect. And Stamp Fairtex knocks out Kanako Murata in round number 1.
Less than 2 minutes.
8-0 and a big win over number 12, number 13 strawweight in the division. So she's probably going to move up into the top 15 with that. And she wants to face off with Reina Kubota. She has something against Japanese women for some reason.
I think she should. I think Fairtex should just straight up face somebody in the top 10 or maybe the top 5 because, my goodness, she's just beating everybody.
And we said how rare it was for a woman to get a knockout. What about two women back to back?
Two back-to-back women's knockouts. Tyron Woodley making his middleweight debut over Clint Hester, who's making his return to the UFC. This is also a last-minute replacement. Tyron Woodley was supposed to fight Chris Weidman, and then Woodley ended up getting injured, so had to move his fight back, and then Clint Hester was...
You mean Weidman got injured? You said Woodley got injured.
Yes, that's what I meant. Weidman got injured. Anyways, Clint Hester takes the fight on short notice, coming off winning the Titan FC championship, but a very tough task in front of him, even though he is 5 inches taller than Tyron Woodley. At 40 years of age, minus 1,200 favorite. The number 6 welterweight in the division, coming off 2 straight losses to Kamaru Usman. Woodley got injured for a year, had his fight with Weidman scheduled, and then Weidman got injured after making the move to middleweight. Is he going to be too small of a middleweight? RBM, your thoughts?
You see, every fiber of my being is telling me to go against Tyron Woodley, but that betting line is, I mean, I've said it quite a bit throughout the night, but that's a big betting line for the other guy to overcome. So I'm going to have to go with Tyron Woodley, even though it kills me to say that.
Okay. Benny?
I feel like as long as Tyron Woodley doesn't start talking about politics mid-fight, he should be able to win. So I'm going to go Tyron Woodley.
And he's training at TriStar Gym now, so he's training with GSP. That's interesting to note. Tristan, your thoughts?
Hester is a pretty good test for Woodley at middleweight. I'm not going to lie. Titan FC champ, and Woodley has been having a tough time, but then again, it's to Usman. Let's look at Hester's losses. What are Hester's losses?
Well, Hester used to be in the UFC. He went 4-2 in the UFC.
Whitaker,
Miranda, and Marcos Rogerio de Lima. Before that was on a 4-fight winning streak, but that was also 7 years ago.
I'm going to go with Woodley to win, either by knockout in the second round or by decision, one of those.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be too surprised if Hester won, to be honest.
All right, everyone's going for Woodley, and it is Tyron Woodley in a fantastic fight who knocks out Clint Hester. There you go.
And if I could turn back time, saying by Sheer begins playing it throughout the arena.
Yeah. And he's calling out Wonderboy Thompson. He's not a middleweight.
Oh my! Stephen Thompson, Tyron Woodley, 3.
Yeah, the third fight. That would be pretty interesting, but I don't know if Wonderboy would be a good middleweight, but that'd be interesting to note. Yushin Thunder Okami taking on Antonio Braga Netso in the middleweight division. Braga Netso 4-4 in the UFC, coming off 2 straight wins. Zach Cummings and Brendan Allen. And Yushin Okami, 41 years of age, legend of MMA, coming off a win over a loss to Lyoto Machida. And before that, beat Jared Cannonier and Trevin Giles and was the 1FC champion. We'll start with Tristan. What do you think?
Now, I'm going to go with Neto to win. Come on, Okami lost to Machida. Who Machida recently retired after beating Venstinas, right?
Correct.
So if you're losing to a guy who's pretty close to retirement, I mean, he's pretty close to retirement himself. I mean, I feel like the age will show in this fight. I'm going to go with Neto by submission or decision. One of those. No way he gets a knockout, though.
All right. Benny?
I feel like Okami's like too old. Although he was on a win streak before the Lyoto fight, he was also in 1 and known for like protecting guys. So I reckon Neto's gonna just beat him with pure like speed and power.
All right. And RBM, your thoughts?
As much as I love Okami, I feel like a baby could sneeze in his general direction and he'd be out cold. So I'm going to have to go with Neto, unfortunately. But I do want to hear If I Could Turn Back Time by Sheer play one more time tonight.
Okay. No one's liking Okami in this co-main event. And Yushin Thunder Okami wins via split decision. Now, Neto took him down 4 times. I don't know, man.
He's
5
gonna
submission
retire.
attempts,
Watch.
5 power punches, though. That's probably what it was.
He's gonna
if
retire.
I could-
Watch.
He's going to retire? Nope. Yushin Okami
does
still
not.
going at it. At
Ask
least
him.
for right now.
You gotta ask him.
We'll
Ask
ask
him
him after this. I can't. He
Okay.
just won. It'd be a little rude to be like, congratulations. So you're gonna retire, right?
Please retire.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to give him the
I
great
mean,
name.
he can do it.
All right, we've arrived at our main event of the evening. RAFAEL CARVALHO taking on Rodolfo VIERA. Now, in real life, Rodolfo VIERA just lost to Anthony Fluffy Hernandez because he gassed himself out in like a minute. Currently, the number 12 middleweight in the UFC, 7-1 in the promotion, coming off wins over. I mean, he's on a 5-fight winning streak. Darren Stewart, Gerald Mearshart, Brendan Allen, Jared Cannonier, and Uriah Hall. Pretty good wins. I mean, Cannonier is not that much because he's been doing crappy in this save. RAFAEL CARVALHO, I mean, Bellator champion, came in and beat David Branch right away. So we're going to start with Benny. What do you think in this main event?
I think all of Vieira's wins have come by first round, if I remember correctly. So I feel like he's got the momentum and obviously the age on his side. So I feel like he's going to win via second round submission.
All right. Hopefully he can outlast the first round because we saw what happened to him against Hernandez. Tristan.
Now, out of context, I was originally, actually I wasn't. But, I mean, look at the quality. Once again, I was originally going to go with VIERA, right? Both of these guys haven't really beaten the best opponents. I mean, come on. Look at the guys that VIERA beat. Both Cannonier and Hall. Like, what the heck is going on with them right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also, Brendan Allen, Mearshart, they're not that good. Carvalho, I feel like he's beaten the better opponents.
Okay.
Like, take a look. David Branch, Bruno Santos, Melvin Manhoof twice. One of them was a robbery, but hey, he beat him once, legitimately.
We got to shoot from the
Carvalho
waist
to
up.
eke out a split decision.
You're going to take Carvalho via split decision?
Yeah, but I definitely would not be surprised if Vieira submits him.
All right. And RBM, after that rant from Tristan, what do you have to say?
Yeah, it turns out he's pulling it Ed Sullivan style, shooting from the waist up.
Yeah.
That's an Elvis Presley reference for those who liked watching that kind of stuff in the 50s. But I'm going to go with Carvalho. Maybe the old people can get the hat trick.
All right. So RBM and Tristan going for Carvalho. Benny likes Vieira. Let's go ahead and start this main event. Your referee is Yves Levin. French-Canadian Yves Levin. Preparing to throw. Vieira lands a left hand. Oh, no. That shot rocks Vieira. Carvalho sensing victory, but he can't finish Vieira.
That would have been so sick if that was it.
Uh-oh. Vieira thinking leg lock. Wow.
Okay, that might be fight of the night, despite all the fantastic fights we've seen. Because he drops him, he reverses, he drops him, did he drop him? He dropped him, right?
He dropped him, and then he went to, like, go finish him, and he slipped. And then he ended up getting, mounted, and then Vieira locked in a knee bar and won.
This actually happened in one of my fights in the default save.
I mean, I don't want to call it a fluke, but it definitely sucks for Carvalho because he definitely nearly won the fight within the first minute.
It was my undefeated super heavyweight champion versus my undefeated challenger. And my challenger hit like a truck, like Nagano power. He dropped him, he went in for the finish, but the champion was able to take the punches. Like, he was able to, like, take the punches like it didn't really damage him. That little commentary thing that it says.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was able to get guard, armbar over.
All right, so
and the fans in attendance are bawling their eyes out.
Yeah.
Poor Carvalho.
Give Vieira submission of the night and performance bonus. Okay, maybe not submission of the night, but he deserves a performance bonus.
Yeah. So
I don't know, maybe
like that.
So let's see. Are there any first round finishes that were earlier? I'm gonna give one to Messiah, first round knockout.
Fairtex, and Lad.
Are we just gonna be? Man, there's a lot of first round finishes. Yeah. Fairtex and Lad, and
Vieira definitely.
Yeah, screw it. We're just gonna be nice. Give out 4 performance bonuses. Everyone gets some money. We end up making a small profit, but it's a profit nonetheless.
If we could go back to that. Sorry, go ahead.
What were you saying? If we could go back to what?
If we could go back to that main event, maybe GSP's corner got into the octagon and started greasing it. Maybe that's why he slipped.
The highest paid fighters are Tyron Woodley, Okami, and Fairtex. And Nakazawa. Interesting. I mean, they did win, but I didn't realize that we were paying them that much. Fairtex getting all that money at the age of 24. Maybe that's gonna ruin her like it ruined McGregor.
Oh, it's her get rich quick scheme.
Yeah.
She's gonna get in and get out.
By the age of 30, you're gonna retire with a record of 13-0. Go down as one of the greats in women's MMA and just leave. And then go off and have a family, a nice little suburban home.
And then Habib sees what he could have had and says, "This is number one bullshit."
Yeah. But man, pretty good fight card. Vieira probably going to be in the top 10, top 8, I'd imagine. Interesting to see what's going to be next for him.
That was middleweight division, right?
That was in the middleweight division, yes.
If you put Vieira against... Is Okami also in the middleweight division?
Okami is in the middleweight division, yes.
It may be him versus Okami. Either him versus Okami or him versus... Who did Okami beat again?
Who did Okami beat just now?
Yeah, who did Okami beat?
Neto, but Neto was not ranked.
Neto. Oh, okay. Then Vieira versus Okami, maybe.
This may seem like kind of like a strange fight, but since they're both in the middleweight division, maybe Okami versus Woodley. They're both kind of old. They're both wrestlers,
Why not? I kind of like that, actually.
That's actually not too bad.
And
Here's number 5.
Okami did not move up at all after beating an unranked opponent, which is kind of fair.
Okay, guys, I just got the biggest idea. Vieira and Lovato.
So Lovato is actually going to be fighting Paulo Costa. So Costa
Plus,
beat Chris Weidman and Lovato, coming off the loss to Darren Till for the title.
Yeah.
If Costa beats Lovato, it's going to be another title shot. Because currently Till is fighting Theodoru for the title. Now, Vieira and Brunson doesn't sound like too bad of an idea.
I mean,
Brunson's
he
back
just
in about a
lost.
month.
Brunson just lost, though. And
Yeah.
look at Vieira. Vieira's on a big winning streak.
He is. But if there's no one else that's available to fight, then...
I mean, if there's no one else, yeah.
Well, these guys are going to be fighting. These, like, literally the only person that's available. Tom Breeze is on hiatus. He's not coming back. Chris Weidman, I believe, is injured for a while. Yeah, like 6 months. So he's out. So the next guy up would be Brad Tavares, and he's ranked at 11.
Yeah, he's actually coming off a win after a 3-5 losing streak, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess him and Brunson would be good, but if Brunson's out, if Brunson's not available, I would say Vieira versus Tavares.
I'm probably going to end up making Vieira and Brunson. Tavares, I mean, he's coming off a win, but I still feel like he should be fighting down. So I feel like either Van Steenis or Carvalho, if he's okay. So that's the middleweight division. At welterweight, everyone is moving up for some reason. Did someone... Oh, it's because Masvidal popped. That's why. That's why.
Nick Diaz.
oh, Tyron's back in welterweight apparently.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Okay, I'll fix that. But yeah, Nick Diaz ranked. He's coming off a win, so
That's probably why he called out Stephen Thompson.
perhaps.
I have something interesting. I think Clint Hester should fight one of the top 20 guys. Probably Nick Diaz or Kim. Dong Hyun Kim versus Clint Hester, perhaps?
Well, Nick Diaz is probably gonna. Nick Diaz, I kind of say for like popular fighters, even if they're not ranked, just for the sake of having like a fight with a lot of eyes on it, you know. So I think Nick Diaz is already fighting Takashi Sato, actually though.
By the way, sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to get this out of the way before, I had to leave. When's Stephen Thompson coming back?
Wonder Boy is back actually, hold on. Yeah, because let's go ahead and make those fights. Because Wonder Boy, do I have him fighting on that card? Because Luque's back. Why do I not have... Oh, that's why. Because since Warley Alves is out and because the super lightweight tournament's going on, I kind of wanted to prolong the welterweight division a little bit. So Wonder Boy and Luque isn't going to happen until... so what's the next month going to be? It's not going to happen until December.
Ooh.
So what fight card is that going to be, or not fight card, or where's that going to be?
It would be at 287, and as far as where it's going to be, I'm not sure. But yeah, because...
Maybe South Carolina?
His last fight was in South Carolina.
Let me think. I forgot what I was gonna say. So you should put down Vieira versus Brunson or Tavares, because if Brunson's not available, Tavares is the next guy. So you should put that down in your notepad thingy.
Well, for the notepad, I only put down, these are the contenders. These are people that I need to send down to WEC or Invicta. And these are the fights that I need to book for this current month. I don't go like super far in advance. I just look as far as the current month. And then after the pay-per-view at the end of the month, that's when I look at what the next month I'm going to be booking. So yeah, just so I don't have like a buttload of stuff on my notepad, at one time. But
yeah, you didn't do a booking stream since January.
Yeah.
In your save.
Yeah, those typically don't get a lot of views on YouTube. I do stream when I book.
I view them.
Oh, well, I mean, hey, thank you. Come by the stream more often and we can talk about the booking, but I appreciate it. But yeah, so, and also those are like 2-hour long videos and no one really wants to watch those, but I do appreciate that you do, Tristan.
Yeah. You gotta like go on Twitch. There's like a schedule thing on Twitch where you could like schedule videos just like you do on YouTube.
That's actually a very good point. I should do that.
Because then I'd be able to turn in more often. Because then I'd actually know when you were streaming.
It's a good point. Fair enough. So let's go ahead and look at our emails, and then we'll go ahead and sign off. And I think I'm gonna sign off after this fight card too. A lot more time has passed by than I thought it would have, and I gotta go do some errands before I have my broadcast later on today. So
I got my college prep. Sorry, go ahead.
It's all good. Let's go ahead and finish these emails. But you said you had college prep classes?
I had my college prep math class in actually like 5-7 minutes.
Oh, well, that's awesome. But yeah, let's go ahead and see what else we have to do. Mateus Vasco.
Look at that Rupert DeMoss sign from the local show.
Oh, Rupert DeMoss?
Yeah.
He did. Nice. Gonna need to
Yeah,
send him down. Mateus Vasco, 1 and 2.
Before you sign off, you gotta go through the local shows.
I will.
See if there are any under the radar fighters.
I'm sure a lot of fighters are under the radar. Yushin Okami, need to bring him back.
Ask him about retirement.
I will. 3 or 4 fights left in him. So he's still got some time. Justin Willis, who's currently at WEC.
Oh, he beat Krylov.
He beat Krylov. 2 straight wins in WEC.
Oh, round 1 TKO. I think you should re-sign him.
12 and 6, 2 wins in WEC. High level regional now. Got a little bit of his mojo back.
Look at the level of competition he's faced too. Of course he's gonna lose. Rosenstrike, DeFries, Roy Nelson.
Pavlovich, who's in the top 10 now. That's a good point.
Pavlovich, yup.
All right, yeah, let's go ahead and bring back Justin Willis. Why not? I'm sure Curtis Blades is not going to be happy, but it is what it is.
Justin Willis is in PFL now.
He is. Hopefully he does good. Damasio Page.
Who are we going to have him fight? Who should he fight?
Well, he's not ranked. So, at this point, it's kind of just anybody. Majima.
Anybody.
He's on a 3-fight losing streak, so we're going to send him down to WEC.
Yeah, I was going to say, you should send him down.
Adam Zika in WEC, 1 and 3, and he lost in WEC.
You know you're bad when you lose in WEC.
Yeah, it is what it is.
By the way, did you guys hear Darren Till got injured?
Yes, Kevin Holland's going to be fighting Vittori instead.
Is he
Not
really
sure if he
fighting?
just quite...
It doesn't say it's official on Tapology. If I check, let me check.
That would be an interesting fight because I don't know if is Vittori a big grappling guy or no?
No, it's not on Tapology.
But yeah, is Vittori a big grappling guy? Because I know he tried to take down Izzy a lot, right?
He was controlling Kevin Holland a lot.
Are you talking about Vittori?
I think I was talking about Derek Brunson.
No, I'm asking is Vittori a big grappling guy or not?
Not quite sure. I'm not
a huge
Vittori expert.
I'll be right back. My screen is kind of frozen.
Alrighty. Let's see. Usman, bring him back. And then that is going to do it. And you wanted me to check the local fight, so I'm going to do that before I sign off. Let's see. Results.
And did you put the Woodley versus Okami into the notepad?
Well, I'm not going to do that because I don't like to... I'm like Dana White. I don't like to book fights the moment after a fight card. I like to wait till the end of the month, and then that's when I do all my booking.
Boo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Local fights. Japanese small local show.
You can do all the local shows if you want. I usually check out the large and medium local shows.
Gotcha. American large. Jordan Griffin. I mean, WEC signing probably?
Yeah. He's not UFC caliber yet.
I don't know. His age, he might never be.
Jeremy Kimball,
See?
34. No.
Another thing is, it's likely you're going to see a lot of alumni on there too.
Yeah. No, I know. The thing is, I've
Ooh.
probably cut like
Oh.
60% of the people that are going to be in WEC. So, all right.
Let's see what else we got.
No more
Small-
large shows.
Small local show. I mean, you could check them out if you want. I'm just telling you what I do.
I gotcha. This is the most recent Invicta show. Lacey Partelier, 9-1, low level national.
In the default thing, I don't have any child organizations. I'm thinking, can you go on the editor and make it so there's a child organization?
You cannot.
Like go on the editor.
You cannot. There's no way that you can edit.
I
Or is there relationships? Maybe. Oh, hold on. Oh no, this is relationships between fighters. Company relationships, maybe.
Companies.
No, Companies Hall of Fame. No.
Try
this-
and like edit the companies and see what comes up.
I don't think so because I think it's just like. No, there's no way that you can do. At least not here.
Well, I'm gonna have to try it.
I know that if you go into the editor like before you start a game, you can definitely do that. Because otherwise, you're just gonna have to wait for a company to go bankrupt, and then you can buy them out. Like
Yeah.
you would go to view profile, business, attempt takeover, and then 90% of the time they're not gonna do it. Also, Oscar
Yeah.
De La Hoya owns CES MMA, and I just realized that. That's pretty funny.
De La Hoya. Wow.
He's gonna fight
Yep.
again. Oscar De La Hoya says he's gonna fight again.
Yeah, he's fighting Anderson Silva.
No, it's not Anderson Silva, but I know Anderson Silva is also gonna box. He's Anderson Silva's fighting Julio Cesar Chavez.
Oh
Jr.
yeah. He's fighting Chavez.
So that's
Yeah, I
pretty
got that
interesting.
mixed up.
Great shot.
I mean, it's interesting to see how Anderson Silva will do in the boxing world.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting.
I assume it's going to be not too great.
Yeah, since you have child organizations, you should check WEC and Invicta too.
Oh,
I only check the local shows.
all the time I do. Like I check every single like show, and I like to check like and see like okay, if this guy wins, I'm probably bringing him up. Like if this guy
Yeah.
loses, I'm probably gonna cut him. You know, things like that. Especially when there's title fights. Like
Yeah.
let's see, like title fights like Jake Matthews versus Eric
Jake
Montano.
Matthews is the super lightweight champion. Hold on, they have a super lightweight division?
Yeah, I
Oh.
set them up to have a super lightweight division.
Oh, you set them up. I was gonna say they're copying you, man.
No. Well, they're my child company, so I wanted to make sure it was the same.
Yeah.
And then look at this, Duran win after knocking out.
Duran
Who did he knock out? He knocked out Gluttony. Immediately after knocking out Gluttony, because of how popular Gluttony is, he gets a title shot off after that.
I mean, Duran win of all people.
I know.
Wow.
Against
Being
Julian
champion.
Marquez.
Marquez is probably
Alright.
gonna beat him. You should shortlist both. You should shortlist both of those guys.
Well, I don't need to shortlist them because they're already in WEC.
Oh yeah, wait. Yeah.
Well, guys, less than a minute to class time. It was really fun hanging out with you guys. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Sounds good. Shout out to RBM. Benny, if you're still here, thank you.
Yep. See you guys around.
All right. And Tristan, I'm going to go ahead and sign off too. I'm AZPlow21. You guys have a good rest of your day.